everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ramble on Movie Review. I am Vlad St. Valentine, and with me is the hostess with the remostest, Mr. Caden Ramos.
How you doing?
Man, I'm pretty good. I had one of my dear neighbor, Helmut Zimu, came over and brought some of his grandmother or his mother's like straight from Germany eggnog that's made with like pure Everclear.
Yeah, I know. I'm jealous. I can't do dairy, so I can't even try it.
It tastes like liquid banana pudding, and it gets you there real fucking fast.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, dude, you don't even notice it's happening to you, and all of a sudden you're taking your little eggnog nap on the couch.
Right.
That's some tricky shit, man. But I'm feeling great. We're here today talking about one of my favorite horror movies from my childhood, Puppet Master. And honestly, I may make you guys sit through the entire series now that we started this.
That's fine.
This may have been Pandora's box. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
I loved this series as a kid, man, or as a teenager especially, and I bought all the puppets. As you can see, here's one right here. I didn't feel like going and rescuing the rest of them from the boxes outside in the garage, but no, I absolutely love this series. And you go back and watch it, and it's just atrocious.
It is. Where are we at?
I don't know. Helmet interrupted and blew everything. I was talking about how atrocious these movies really are. And all right, on a sliding scale for Full Moon, they're great. Because this is when Full Moon still gave a shit. Like there was like good stop motion effects. Mm-hmm. They tried to build the tension. Unfortunately, the opening scene, we'll get to it. The opening scene kind of blows all the tension for the rest of the damn movie, but they at least gave it a shot. Like the first few moments with the puppets, if you ignored the opening scene, the first few moments with the puppets when they're in modern time are almost on level with Chucky.
Yeah.
The only thing that undoes it is, again, the opening scene where the puppets are seen as sympathetic and the whimsical score that sounds like a bargain basement John Williams.
And all the comical sound effects.
Oh yeah, especially at the end, the final finale murder scene, and the bad guys getting taken down by the puppets finally, and he pops Pinhead's off. You have to like the cork pop sound.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
They do that with the Blade's hook too after he pulls it out of his mouth after he's dead.
Yeah. This movie was I guess not to be taken seriously, and it really is kind of hard to take seriously anyway, because like the over-sexualized couple, one of them is like the most creepy, like, I'll give you a record contract if you suck my dick type dude ever. Mm-hmm. Like he looks like the skeeviest record exec you've ever seen in your life. And his girlfriend is like, got some like caterpillars over her eyes. She's got, man, those eyebrows are fierce, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And so are the roots. She is the obligatory boobs for this movie, and they almost feel obligatory, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Like, it's like, shit, we got to have some boobs in this. Fuck. All right. I don't know. I guess I have her take a bath or something. I don't know. She's like, have a sex scene, but with this creepy record executive guy who no one wants to see naked. But she got like the Mila Jovovich contract where he only shows a little bit of boob. She's like, I'll do it, but I got to wear a nightie. Yeah. I gotta wear like a see-through.
All the side boob.
It's fucking awful. It's like, it's one of those things you're like, you just don't have to show the boob. It's okay. We don't need the boob.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're fine without the boob. You know, it could have all just been suggestive. You didn't have to show it because no one from the people who made it to the people who acted in it to the people watching it uncomfortably enjoyed that nudity. So yeah, this might have been some of the most uncomfortable nudity I've seen since Cannibal Holocaust.
Fucked up, man. Thought we said we weren't going there.
No, we just said we weren't watching it anymore.
We stopped watching it. Never again.
That or a Serbian film.
No, I'm not into that shit, man. That's not me. That's why I'm not a G.G. Allen fan.
Maybe just have Joey do that one.
Just by himself. But no, this movie it's adorable. And I think that's why I love it so much. I love the puppets, and I don't just love this movie. As a matter of fact, this is probably not even in, you know what, of the first 5 movies, which are the only ones I really count from my childhood, this might be my last one on the list.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on with it at all.
No, and like, I love the series so much, but I don't think it's because of this movie in particular. I think I watched this movie and it caught me enough to make me go watch the other 4
Mhm.
that were out at the time. And I fell in love with the whole series as a whole because 2 is batshit insane and doesn't go anywhere that leads to the rest of the series. But it's fine because we get Torch and we get a lot more blood. They just take number 1 and ramp it up a little bit.
Mhm.
And we will get to 2 next. I promise. But 3 is amazing because somebody somewhere by the stroke of God wrote a check to Full Moon and they were actually able to make a competent period piece. Like from what I remember, and again, it's been a while since I watched it and we'll get to number 3, I promise. They actually made it look like World War II Germany. You know what I mean? Effectively. And I didn't think they were capable of that.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it too. So going back and watching 3 again, I actually going through all of them since we have the what was it, $200 box set?
No. Full Moon, if you like Full Moon Productions or you like terrible movies, or if you just want this box set, I don't know if they're still doing the promotion, but they were running a promotion where if you bought, they're trying to launch a streaming service because who the F isn't? Their streaming service is like $120 a month, but they were doing a half off. And if you bought the streaming service for a year for $60, they sent you a free voucher for the entire Blu-ray box set of every Puppet Master movie ever made. Like, I think there's 10 movies or something like that and all.
Mhm.
But apparently the newer ones, the Axis of Evil movies, which I have not seen, and we'll get to those, I promise, are not too bad.
Hmm.
Kind of like the Chucky going back to his dark roots
Old
and
roots, yeah.
the later ones here. But and then we get on to the 4th and 5th to finish up. We were saying about the original 5. Those actually had continuity to them that fell in line with the first and third movie.
Mhm.
I mean, it was people in the back at the hotel again, but there was a new puppet master, a young guy, and they introduced some demons from another world, which all right, kooky, but whatever. It wasn't world breaking to what we knew already. So I'll take it. Shit,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
And that was fun. That was the only puppet I never bought. Speaking of all the puppets, the little totem, the little evil one, that's the only one I never ended up with. Anyone's thinking about sending me toys.
You know that one's going to be the most expensive one.
So anyway, Puppet Master, right?
Mhm.
We start off this movie with Andre Toulon putting the puppets away and being hunted down by Nazis. We don't really say they're Nazis, but
Yeah.
if you've watched up to 3,
I mean, even listening to their dialogue, they call them air.
Head Toulon,
Yeah.
shit like that. And this is around the 40s, at least kind of Art Deco styling. So that's 20s,
Yeah.
but this is the 40s later on. We start off with the puppets, running and hiding, and they're dodging the Nazis. And so immediately, no matter what the puppets get up to later in the movie, we see that they're opposite the Nazis, and no one opposite the Nazis is the bad guy.
Mm.
But we see them running and hiding, and the little George Burns guy. Did we figure out if that was the grandpa from Christmas Vacation or not?
I didn't look that up.
Miles, you got to do the lookup shit. Look at IMDb and see if Andre Toulon from Puppet Master 1 was also the grandpa in
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation. Did he play God? You didn't even see that part. It's William Hickey is his name, and I know I've seen him in other shit. Yeah, it is. Boom. He was Lewis in Christmas Vacation. This one. That's how low budget and lazy we've got.
I'm going to leave that in there. You know that, right?
So we're talking about some of the leads.
Mhm.
Our little ensemble cast of psychics who get drawn here by, they get a psychic call from one of their this guy who had brought them together as a group.
The Psychic Super Friends.
Yeah, all right. He brought them together to look for Andre Toulon, the old puppet master's last resting place, to find his secrets. Basically, where the fuck's the puppet box buried, right?
And where the secrets are. And
where the secrets are. The secrets to eternal life. That's
Yep.
what they were after. Apparently, they didn't. The Scooby Gang didn't find it together, so they all broke up. And creepy record executive and eyebrows are doing like sexual psychic experiments with chicks, and it's like a creepier version of the opening of Ghostbusters, where he's like doing the psychic experiment with the woman, the man, and just lying to get in the chick's pants. It's even creepier than that somehow. What the White Witch?
Dana.
What? Yeah, but what's the
Stevie Nicks?
Yeah, Stevie Nicks with the bad Southern accent and a stuffed dog.
Oh yeah,
like a stuffed Pomeranian.
The rogue accent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's just all it reminded me of. Was just Anna
Paquin.
Anna Paquin's bad Southern accent. I'm like, oh god.
I suck the
Sorry,
powers
sugar.
out, sugar.
Sorry, sugar.
There's too much of an R on that, Anna. Like if you want a Louisiana accent, there's no R on the end of anything. Sugar, sugar, sugar. No sugar. No hint of an R. Sorry. I got family from Nylons and everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about all the leads except for I guess our main character, our final guy who looks like Ron White with like Seinfeld's mid-90s Seinfeld's haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Or just looks like Ron White, long-haired Ron White. That's what I'm gonna call him from now on. So we got Ron White, we got eyebrows, we got rapey record executive, and we've got
Rogue.
we got Stevie Nicks with a bad accent.
Stevie Paquin.
Yeah, Stevie Paquin. So they show up to they're all called or drawn, you know. I think they all end up calling us on their phone saying, "Did you get the call too?" Yeah, the Professor X sent the call out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guy they were working for, what was his name? Ended up being, it was like was it Gandalf or some shit like that?
Gallagher.
That's what it is. That's right. He called him by smashing watermelons and sending a signal out into the world. He sent them all some psychic message. They show up at the house or this hotel out on the beach or whatever, which, by the way, apparently was a miniature about the size of a fridge, and they would like suspend it from air and use forced perspective to make it look like it was actually on location in places. It's fucking genius, man.
Yeah.
It looked great. It looks funny. That was more effective than most of the stuff on it. Actually, I take that back. I like a lot of the effects in this movie. I like the stop motion of the puppets.
I do like the claymation of the puppets, yes. And still, that holds up better than some of the CGI nowadays.
Yeah, it does. The weird ass dance, psychic vision. So they all have different psychic powers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what Bald Pervert's powers are, but
no, Bald Pervert powers was just using the girl.
Okay.
He was the science behind the pseudoscience.
Yeah, because later on when they had their sex scene, he's like sexual experience number 224. It's like that is the most that's the worst foreplay ever. Like this is the most unsexy foreplay.
Yeah, no, he's just the science guy. The girl is the one who has the visions and stuff.
Yeah, okay. So Eyebrows, the girl, she can touch things and sense their past. White Witch, I guess, can sense things. I don't know. She's got some premonition abilities.
Yeah, some kind of premonition thing.
But most of her stuff's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of her like burning sage and like wafting crab didn't do a thing to stop her getting her ankle broken by Pinhead later on in the movie. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so she's full of shit for the most part, but has some psychic abilities. But she's working as a carny worker. Like she's working as a psychic at a traveling fair or some shit, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess it's doing real well for the psychic premonitions. And then I don't know what the hell Ron White does other than sit in offices and drink scotch.
He said he dreams of the future.
I know that, but I'm not sure what he's doing for a living outside of that. But yeah, that is his power. He dreams.
I guess he's a professor of some sort.
Unclear. Doesn't matter. Unimportant, I suppose. Although they try to make it clear what everyone else was doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. I was cooking during the first part of this movie. Yeah, they show up at the hotel and they're greeted, instead of by their friend, they're greeted by his widow. Apparently he blew his brains out, and I guess the psychic message went out before he passed away. And she's like, the only thing is he didn't want you to be buried before you guys got here because, you know, spoiler alert, he's the bad guy. I'm sorry. If you haven't seen this 1989 movie, and I'm spoiling it for you now, just maybe you shouldn't have watched this review first before you went and watched the 1989 movie. Just saying, like, if you cared enough, you would have seen the movie by now. That's all I'm getting at. Don't get on to me about it. Can't handle my light work.
His address is.
So they're surprised, but they figure that, Gallagher found the secret and it's somewhere there. So, sexy psychic chick and record executive are trying to tap into it, but they're too busy having sex on a bed that Clark Gable had sex on, apparently. While White Witch is walking around with her stuffed Pomeranian because she's a creep and doing weird White Witch shit. And she tries to seduce Ron White, but he's too busy trying to sleep with the widow.
Yeah.
It's weird. He turns, like, she strips, like, come inside, let's rattle them walls. Like, Strip says that to him. And he's like, no thanks. I'd rather have somebody who's sad because her husband died. That's what gets me off.
Keep having dreams about her and her husband.
Yeah. I keep having dreams about her and her husband, but they're recreating the scenes from Mad Love comic book cover. it's interesting. The imagery is trying to be artistic and trying to be interesting, but it's all right. I mean, it's doing the best it can for a low budget B movie. And they actually, what I give this movie though, is they actually gave a shit. They tried.
Mhm.
They tried with the effects. They tried with the puppets. The only problem with this movie is that it's, they dispelled all the tension in the beginning of the movie by having that sympathetic opener. And everything they tried to do after that is just, as far as building tension for a horror movie goes, is lost. Because, all right, they're doing evil stuff after being sympathetic. And you might go, oh, what's happening now? They've gone evil. But like, this isn't a long form series where this has gone slowly over time. There's no build up to that. So it's like, well, these people have already been acting, these psychics have already been shitty, just shown to be shitty people. The puppets are sympathetic. So they must be doing this righteously, right? And plus the music itself, although I like the theme song, I love the theme song. It is, like I said, bargain basement, John Williams, but it's impish, it's whimsical. It reminds me of the opening of this movie where they're showing them like making the puppet like up close. Reminds me of Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where they're making the fudge and the chocolate and shit. Like I love the opening of this movie. I absolutely do. And I love that theme song. But as it carries on, they keep going on with that whimsical, sound to it. Like when Blade's pulling the chair up before he makes they make the first kill.
Yeah.
It's like it's trying to sound a little sinister, but still has it sounds like the theme. So it still has those whimsical overtones to it. I don't know what I'm supposed to be feeling here. And like, I know I'm not supposed to be do I root for the puppets? Do I root for the bad guy? Do I root for the psychics to live through this? Who fucking cares? They've been assholes the whole time. And the puppets are just trying to survive against these Nazis. Maybe it's miscommunication. Maybe they're just, trying to fight against the invaders or, trying to keep their master secret going from these people who would do wrong with it. I mean, hell, the shitty record executive guy already said he'd rule the world if he had the power.
Yeah.
Like these are not sympathetic people.
No. And they do bring up a point too in the later on in the movie where she reads the diary.
Mm-hmm.
How the inanimate objects take on the personality of their creator.
They did. That came in a little bit later, but I think that would have been more effective had we not had the opening and known that they could be one way or the other.
Yeah.
Because as I was watching the movie, I took the notes down. I'm like, man, they should really explain that the puppets have a dual personality earlier on, because I'm not really getting that from what we're getting. We got them being sympathetic. Now they're killing people. And then like they did come in with that scene and explain it. I was like, it's a little too late.
Yeah.
It needed to be, if you had to have that opening scene, then you need to explain that with the opener, that they can take on anything. And like, oh shit, they're killing people. That means that they're being controlled by somebody bad. Then it becomes a whodunit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still tense because, oh shit, they're murdering people, and who's doing it? Who's controlling? Is it the widow?
Yeah.
Is it the caretaker who's like, looks like Linda Blair with Yeardley Smith's voice? Yeardley Blair, as we'll call her. Who knows? But that wasn't that clever.
No. And they could have done it easily too with like newspaper clippings of like murder at the hotel and, just intercut him with, painting another doll. And they could have given
the painting of the doll, but you don't even have to show that open. You do the painting of the doll. You don't have to do the Andre Toulon thing. You just have the conversations to have later. It's like, oh, the old puppet master's shit, blah, 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 blah. But what the opening gave us that we didn't need. Matter of fact, you could do the opening, but don't show the puppets move. Don't do the POV shots. Just show him painting a puppet and putting it away, then blowing his fucking head off. Don't have the other guys talks when they're Nazis, so there's no sympathy one way or the other. Or actually, you know what? You might even have sympathy for the puppet master. Who knows? You know what? Do it back. I'm going back and forth. No sympathy for the puppet master. We don't know what's going on. Blows his head off, hides the shit. Don't know what's happening. Some people will run him down. Matter of fact, take the SS jackets off. They'll make them just suited up dudes. So it looks like they might be FBI or they might be CIA or some shit, right?
Men in Black.
They might be out to get this guy for a good reason. Who knows? Keep it ambiguous. So when they're killing people, it's ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to that, Andre Toulon was run from the Nazis. They read it in the notes. And when they get to the diary scene, that's the reveal moment. Oh, they can be good and bad. Oh my goodness, that means someone bad's running them. But this is not good at building tension. But it is a fun movie. They gave a shit, and it's like in the vein of Ray Harryhausen. The effects are honestly, it's like some Sinbad shit, you know. But I really enjoy it for that camp value, and it's adorable.
Yeah,
but it's not great by any means, and they get better though.
They do. There's a lot. There's a lot left to be wanting in this movie, and I don't know if they had the budget for number 2, or number 2 was just kind of a Hail Mary. Let's see if we can get more money, which is why they made it batshit insane.
Well, it wasn't that it was batshit insane. It's just the ending went off. It was kind of batshit insane. It ended with the puppets, I guess, being evil, and then went off into a storyline tangent that never went anywhere. I mean, it kind of picks up with this movie, or where this. I mean, it's not. If it had gone along with it, you wouldn't think 2 was batshit insane if they had kept going with it. But they just kind of made 3 a prequel and then ignored 2. So 2 is why it's the batshit insane one. To be fair to it, I guess. But it does end up with them like reanimating some person and them traveling around to torture children shows. We'll get to it, I promise.
You talk about how long it took for somebody to recognize the blade running around in the hotel at the beginning.
Yeah. He ran through a busy hotel for quite a long time without anybody noticing a 12-inch puppet.
Yeah.
It's not
Up
like
until
they're
like the 6th floor.
It's not a fucking mouse, man. It's like
he was running in front of people. How do you not see that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, they're not tiny. Like they're not that little. Every time they hold them up, they're bigger than this. This is not even full size.
Yeah.
They're bigger than that. Yeah. So that's a good point. Yeah, the whole like they're sneaking around thing is kind of bullshit.
They're about the size of a house cat. You would notice a house cat running around.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Especially a black cat. You're gonna see that.
Especially one that's a skeleton with blades and a hook for a hand. Yeah, I think that's. I get. But if my cat was running around with prosthetics like fucking Captain Jack Sparrow, I'd be like, I'd notice. So our first kills in this movie, Eyebrows gets tunneled in the face. Which, by the way, Tunneler is obviously the most effective one out of all of them. I know Blade kind of gets the lead position, but let's face it, that giant tunnel on his head actually does more people in, or does more damage, it seems, than anyone else.
At least in this in this movie.
Yeah. But he drills Eyebrows in the face after she's writing creepy record executive, I guess, because she wants that record deal. But she hears crap and bends over the bed, and he's tied up like, Jared's Game style. And she gets drilled in the face, which, by the way, later on at the dinner scene with her face makeup, love it. Probably the best makeup in the movie.
Yeah.
Her drilled out corpse face. But while he's tied up, Leech Woman comes up, and then we get the whimsical music back that ramps up while she like kisses on his nipples and then starts spitting up leeches on him. He likes it at first, then like kind of gets his blindfold off and sees what's going on. And then I guess death by leeches? How long did that fucking take?
I don't know.
I don't care how many leeches you have on. That should take a while, right? Like a leech can only drink about as big as it is. And you know what I mean? Like, I mean, they get bigger and swell up, but like they're not draining you completely, are they? But yeah, as soon as we start dying, though, they die pretty quickly. Because as soon as they off the couple and Leech, so we get the tunnel in the face, Leech Lady sucking the blood. Then the White Witch gets her ankle snapped by Pinhead. And then he like charges her and punches her like 3 or 4 times and just gets getting chunked different places. Like she throws him over like the stairwell, down the stairwell at one point in time. He like falls like 5 stories. And then like later on, she gets in the elevator trying to escape Blade and goes down to the bottom floor where she threw Pinhead's ass, and then is surprised when he's there when she opens the door, and then proceeds to just throw him against the wall. And it's like, oh, it's over. It's like, bitch, you just threw him down 5 flights of stairs and he got back up. What makes you think chucking him against the wall is going to help any? Right. Like, he's just going to get back up. Which, by the way, I do find funny, the whole, like, anytime a puppet got grabbed by somebody, they automatically just went limp.
Right.
Like, they didn't try to fight back or anything because we couldn't do that in the scene. They just stopped fighting and then got thrown against the wall.
Yeah.
It didn't move until they went back to a CGI or a claymation scene. Then they're like, oh, now we'll get up because there's no one else in the scene with us. But this is not Who Framed Roger Rabbit, guys. We're not going to have the animation and the real humans interacting, all right?
No, this is they kill the White Witch in the elevator, and then the rest of the movie they proceed not to use the elevator.
That's a good point. They never did find her body, I guess. We don't know later on they do use the elevator and there's no body in it. I guess the puppets clean after themselves. Because they killed the main bad guy in the elevator later, and she's not in there.
Well, yeah, no. But I mean, after that, like the widow and Ron White actually walk all the way upstairs.
Yeah,
And
I
then they
think they
walk
were
all the
already
way
on
back.
like an upper floor where their rooms were, and then they just walked to the attic. So I guess maybe they were already close enough to it to walk. Because it's not like it's a giant. I don't know how big this.
No, but then
fucking
they
is.
walk all the way back down.
I don't fucking know, man. Maybe the puppets cleaned up immediately afterwards. Look, of all the stupid things in this movie, that's the problem.
The second elevator.
Who knows, man? So after that, we rushed. This movie isn't very long. We kind of rushed to the end after we kill the first 3 people. There's a vision of people dancing, and then they go upstairs, and bad guy reveals himself with the most convoluted plot of ever. It's like, I already found the secret. I killed myself and brought myself to life, so I'm essentially immortal, and I could just fucked off forever and not bother with you people ever again. But he's like, well, we were all connected at one point psychically, so you would have found out what I did eventually, so I had to kill you guys for some reason. Because later on, as he's fighting Ron White, it's like, time to die so you can live forever, implying that he was going to bring him back to life. I guarantee if you were worried about these people finding you out, you could have just called them together and like brought them back to fucking life and to do your experiment or whatever. Just like, oh yeah, I'll give you guys immortality, and you just do your little experiment or whatever it was. You don't really tell them.
Yeah.
You just offer them what they were all looking for. And those who opt out and choose to leave you alone, right?
Yeah.
None of this was necessary.
Record
None of this was
executive wanted
necessary.
that. Record executive wanted that.
Record executive wanted it. He would have come and tried out for your experiment. If it went well, it went well. If it didn't, he would have died. And what would you cared? But in the same spot you were, right? Without this convoluted mess of a plot. Just saying. But he throws the puppets like, I'm tired of experimenting on puppets. I'm going to kill you and experiment with your body and play with your nipples while you're dead, or whatever the fuck he said to him. But the puppets have turn on him and kill him, and they blah, blah. That's the end of the movie. Not spectacular. And I mean, it is what it is. I think I love this movie, not for this movie again, but for the movies that come after it. And because this is the first one, you kind of have to give it its respect for being the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And the effects are there, and damn it, they tried. They tried. There was effort and care given. And honestly, with a few edits, you just cut out that opening scene with Andre Toulon shooting himself in the head. And this movie's probably 10 times better. Because the opening sequences of like people like the Blade stuff running around and change this musical score and get rid of that whimsical shit. But like where you don't actually see the puppets and stuff and things are like moving around in the background, very much like Chucky. You could have gotten that level. And Chucky's not over the top scary. I mean, it's ridiculous in some points, but the original one is good enough to be considered a horror movie and not a black comedy like the later ones are, you know? Like it's got some tense, frightening moments and some stuff that's genuinely shocking and fun.
Yeah, it's got jump scares and everything too.
And this one could have had some of that in there, but the opener and the score totally just undercut any tension that this movie tried to have. And I think that's the ultimate critique of this. It wasn't that they didn't try, because damn it, they did. And that's why you have to appreciate it. And it led to a wonderful, campy, beautiful series. But ultimately, this movie standalone itself just fails in the editing and in the score. Not that the score is bad, just doesn't fit the tone. I don't know. Final thoughts?
No, it's not as creepy as I remember it being when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think creepy dolls are scary to children because you had toys and the thought of them coming to life was just creepier to you.
The one scene that I couldn't get over as a kid was the leech lady scene at the end.
Oh, the leech in the mouth. That is gross. That's still gross.
Little dog.
Oh yeah, the dogs. Like we had to take, like we were talking about the death toll in this movie. You have to subtract one since the dog comes back to life. I guess they decided to use the serum on the dog at some point.
Yeah, the widow does.
Sure.
The widow's the one carrying the doll back upstairs.
Yeah, no, fuck it. Why not? Who gives a shit? Yeah. So we got through this movie so we can get through the next movie, so we can get to the next 3, and then have to suffer through a few more before we get to movies I haven't seen yet and I'm looking forward to. It's really going to be a roller coaster, man. This movie isn't terrible. It's not terrible. And again, it's worth watching, but like, it's worth watching the same sense of like, I mean, okay, it's better than an Ed Wood. You know what I mean? it's more fun to watch. It's more fun to watch than even like Bela Lugosi's Dracula because there's at least a damn score. It's just I keep saying this over and over again to close this out, but there's so many things that could have been done to fix this movie and make it better without doing much other than just clipping off the beginning and changing the score a little bit. Man, we may do that someday.
I'll see what I can do. I may surprise you.
Take this and make a full red letter media edit that actually makes it tense in a good movie. Cut out some of the goofy shit, some of the goofy like noises, the punk and crap like that.
I may surprise you. Your birthday's coming up, so we'll see.
It was clever the way they did the stuff with the miniature, with the claymation, stuff like that. They got around what they could with what they could, and I respect that in a movie. There's a lot of things to love about this movie, and it could be fixed. The bad points can be fixed in editing, so it's worth watching. It's worth watching and getting into the whole series, just like we will. I promise. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Ramble On. I know you guys were expecting us to have the pay-per-view payoff for Royal Rumble at this point, but Joey's taking a couple of weeks off and he won. He wants to be here while he makes us watch Garfield, The Tale of Two Kitties. Just saying it fucking hurts right here, man. Just right there. I can't believe we gotta watch that shit. Guys, thank you so much for joining us again. We really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and anything else, man?
Not really.
Miles?
I'm good.
Helmet Zimu?
Nah, man. Awesome. Good job, guys.
All right, guys. Say hi to your mother for me.